Welcome back to the Dividend Diplomats YouTube channel. You got your boys here, Lanny and Bert, the Dividend Diplomats. You know what it is? It's Monday morning, so we're doing our podcast style. We just have some fun. We talk about some big topics that have happened in the week or things that are just burning on our mind right now. Today, everybody, we have five topics ranging from the economy to acquisitions to changes at the top to see if that can help spark a rebound.
Smash that subscribe button. Give us a nice thumbs up here, guys. Get that coffee brewing right now for the Monday morning Dividend Diplomat podcast. Let's go. Five stories hitting the stock market last week that could impact your portfolio this week, guys. So we've got five big ones here.
Yeah.
Lots going on right now in the S&P 500. Lots going on right now.
That's the perfect place to start because the first one's not more, it's not a specific story. It's more of a what the heck is going on with this economy here, Lanny? The S&P 500 came roaring back over the last month as news came where the economy might be slowing down. The Fed's most likely going to be cutting rates in September. Boy, oh boy, did Mr. Market rally. The S&P 500 is now solidly above 5,550. But the question is, Lanny, this is what's really been getting to me, especially as you start seeing some earnings releases over the last week. Is this permanent, or are there cracks forming in this economy that are going to be leading to some pain 2, 3, or 4 months around that an interest rate cut may not be able to solve by itself?
Did the needle move? Yeah, we're going to find this out, obviously. A lot of layoffs are happening here, coming up from a lot of companies, which we'll also talk about on today's video. September bringing in that first more than likely Fed rate cut by what we think is going to be 25 basis points. Housing markets picking up a little bit of steam as mortgage rates have declined a little bit. Unemployment
Yeah.
rising just a little bit here. So, yeah, I mean, there could be some cracks in the economy. Could we go into a recession?
Yeah, Home Depot
Time
was saying
will
in their earnings
tell.
release too. Home Depot is saying that they're seeing a slowdown in sales, slowdown in guidance because consumers are doing less DIY projects. There are less major projects happening as consumer money tightens. So it's fascinating that Home Depot, who sees what people are doing, sees what's getting built, sees what people are buying tools to do things themselves, they're telling you something's going on. So maybe something is going on.
Everybody just did all their DIY projects during the pandemic, so there aren't any more DIY projects to go around right now.
Yeah, eventually it's true. The other interesting one was sure Home Depot was terrible. You saw some slumping in like the UPS and the FedExes too of the world, but Walmart crushed it. Walmart said they're not seeing any hold off in sales. They're saying they're attracting everybody right now. In fact, they're actually picking up customers. They're actually grabbing those high income earners that are coming to Walmart, buying their groceries, buying everything as a one-stop shop. So whatever is happening there, Walmart's definitely not seeing it.
Walmart's like, we want it all. We want your dollars and we want it now. But to get those dollars, usually they're taken from somebody
Mhm.
else's dollars. Could that be Kroger's wallet? Could that be some other large supermarket's wallet? I guess we'll have to find out. Could it be even from
Mhm.
Amazon's wallet?
Yeah.
But yeah, more to come there. But Bert, we were talking about layoffs.
Yeah.
Layoffs? We're talking about layoffs? Um, Insert the P there, guys. But yeah, tech layoffs is the second topic. Tech layoffs continue to rise. Obviously, Intel, SHIT, the bed on their earnings release. Cisco has been pretty flat and stagnant up until, well, Intel didn't do much after they announced a massive layoff. But hey, Cisco announced a layoff, and what happened with their stock price?
We went back up because they're trimming the fat. They were a bloated tech company that was kind of directionalist. So Cisco said, we're going to trim some fat. We're going to lay off about 7% of our workforce, take a one-time hit, and then we're going to shrink down and refocus and recalibrate. And while it sucks for the people, right? For Cisco, that's what the company needed because Cisco's just kind of been treading water, not doing much. They were flat, as you said. So something is good for Cisco.
Yeah, I
Interesting.
mean, stock price was up about 8.5% after that announcement.
Yeah, it didn't even phase them that they said the severances are going to be what, $1 billion. So they're taking that one-time billion-dollar hit to save in the long run. They don't care. Mr. Market loved it. They're trimming down and they're screaming L.A. Night is what I'm hearing from over
Yeah.
here. Yeah, so it's unfortunate. But Cisco and Intel haven't been the only tech companies that have been announcing layoffs. That's been the unfortunate side effect of 2024. And it's a trend that really started in 2022 when interest rates went up. Tech companies stopped spending money like they had unlimited funds. Things slowed down. The layoffs started happening. So far, 2024, we've seen 130,000 total layoffs. In 2022, there were 165,000 layoffs in the sector. And in 2023, there were 265,000 layoffs in the sector. So tech companies continue to slim down.
Yeah, it's a struggle, but hey, the companies are there to honestly reward shareholders. So they're going to do whatever it takes to protect theirs, and layoffs come with the territory. Again, kind of parlaying backwards into that unemployment number, into the cracks in the economy here. But that didn't stop companies from also trying to grow here. We actually had a major, massive merger deal here
Mhm.
struck by a nice consumer candy company, guys. And this one's the biggest one since the Kraft-Heinz 3G Capital Warren Buffett deal some odd 10 years ago that worked out so wonderfully for shareholders. So, bro, there's a $36 billion deal on the table. What two companies are talking to each other that pretty much has a deal that's done?
Mars, the candy company, owns all the Wrigley. They own the Skittles. They own so much of the candy sector. Just announced that $36 billion deal to acquire Kellanova, ticker symbol K. After they're split off too. So, yeah, Kellanova is the newly formed version of Kellogg's, which split off a certain legacy sector into a WG Kellogg. The Kellanova was the surviving one that had the Cheez-Its, the package, the Pringles, Pop-Tarts, all the stuff you see in your shelf are now going to be falling in with the candy maker, Mars. So that's an interesting duo. And it made me think this isn't the first major acquisition we're
Lego
seeing.
my ego.
Yeah, I go. Smucker's bought Hostess, right? Remember that one too? So Smucker's takes their coffee, their peanut butter, their jelly, and they're buying Hostess to get more
They're
ingrained
just
in the
squeezing that
package.
into those ho hos.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Mars buying Kellanova, it's an interesting pairing where maybe you'll start seeing some Skittles and Cheez-Its specials coming down in there. If you buy 5 Skittles, you get 1 box of Cheez-Its for free. I don't know, but it's an interesting combination to say the least from my opinion.
Yeah, yeah, a big deal, $36 billion. Probably not going to close this year. What is it, 2025 closure, more than
Has to be,
likely?
right?
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty big
When
deal.
when's Kellanova going to file that? Oh, supposedly file that 10K? Because I'd imagine it's a week before they're supposed to file it, so they don't have to do it again.
Just before that.
Yeah, so probably February 2025 is going to be my guess.
Now, the interesting part and Mars is a private company, right?
Mhm. Yeah,
So Kellanova, obviously, this last week with that announcement, it popped about 8.5%. Again, market cap now is only 27.6 billion. So is there still a little bit of arbitrage play there for a $36 billion deal?
Mhm.
You guys tell me. I mean, you're looking at another, 30 to 40% upside in the share price. Again, we'll have to look at what was that stock price that
Yeah,
they, you know,
yeah, that's an interesting one, and um, it also lets me think here too, Lanny. Is there going to be more consolidation in this sector coming down the pipeline too? Because there are a lot of struggling consumer staple brands right now. There are a lot of consumer companies that aren't doing well. It's a sector that continues to get beaten down. Is this going to be a time for the larger ones, the ones that have more capital, have better positioned balance sheets, to pick something up to help diversify within the sector? That's going to be what I think.
so So the deal is 83.50 per share in cash. So they're currently trading at 80.29. So, you got a nice, at this time only about a 4% mark still. So, um, let's see what else are they doing though. including, okay, so they're including some debt that they're going to assume. So that's probably where the total
That's true.
transaction value comes from. So it's not all share acquisition there. Okay, got it.
Yeah, that makes a little more sense, especially if they haven't hit that market cap number yet.
Yeah,
You'd
yeah.
have to look in. So it's just an interesting one. We'll see what's going to happen here. To your point, Lanny, let's keep an eye on Kellanova's stock price too, because if it drops down, at some point they're going to hit that mark. So keep
There you
your
have it, guys.
eyes
But let's,
peeled.
speaking of offers and mergers, oh, our favorite piece of shit in our dividend stock portfolios. Blink that one out, YouTube. But Paramount, PARA, supposedly there was another offer in the background.
Yeah, it's wild. This story will not die. So what happened was Skydance agreed to acquire National Amusements and Paramount, and it was all going to fold into Skydance. But there was a 45-day window where it was you can shop this around, you can match it, and you can beat it. But that window is going to expire this week, actually, on August 21st. So we're going to have a resolution to this very fast. Sneak in Seagram and Edgar Bronfman Jr., who on Friday announced that there was going to be another offer potentially coming, announced that something else was going to be coming down the pipeline, and Paramount's price jumped up to what was about $11. So it jumped up 8 or 9%. I know. The interesting thing, though, I thought this one was interesting. There weren't a lot of details from it outside of there's a $400 million breakup fee if this happened.
Oof.
But Bronfman and would have groups that work with him to make this acquisition. So it's not just him. I thought it was interesting. There's Fortress Investment Group, but that's not what got me thinking. It was Roku was going to be involved in this. That was the one that kind of caught my attention because Roku has no content. They just have the network for distributing this everywhere. So how many Roku TVs are there? So how is Roku going to sneak into the content game by acquiring Paramount? And if so, is that an interesting way for Paramount to grow its viewership outside of your traditional route of having people sign up for their app?
Yeah, would be pretty interesting. Hey, buy a Roku TV and get free 1 year of Paramount Plus, guys.
Yeah.
But that deal, that again, that window, a 45-day window is set to expire here coming up, guys. So we'll really have to see what comes down over these next 72 hours, guys. Very exciting stuff here for Paramount shareholders, aka the Dipladouches here, guys. But one last story here. As companies are merging, offers are coming in. What about CEOs getting poached over here, Bert?
Yeah, this is old news. This happened at the beginning of the week, but we've talked so much about Starbucks on this channel. We have to talk about this. Starbucks hired Chipotle CEO to a massive new salary and comp package to take over and write this turnaround. And the day that happened, Starbucks price jumped up 23%. So all those people that were excited, that were grabbing some shares in the 70s like we were, even in the low 80s, that stock price is now well into the 90s. It's come back a little bit, but Starbucks is I think $94 at the time we're recording this video. So obviously the market liked the direction they're heading into it. And I think the first thing they got to clean up, Lanny, thing that Chipotle, I would say Chipotle has mastered pretty well. It's getting people in and out of the store in an efficient manner. And that is
I've
what's
been preaching
plaguing me.
that now all year.
Yeah. What's funny? I read a CNBC article this weekend about it. It said first thing, number one, is they have to clean up the mobile ordering. They have to clean up all the drinks that are just sitting there in the store. They have to clean up how long it takes people that are in the store to get in there. So we step number one, and probably some Chipotle magic and some Chipotle efficiencies are going to help Starbucks go a long way with this.
Let's go, Starbucks. It's
Yeah,
your game to lose here, especially with the Mr. Efficient CEO there from Chipotle. Obviously, he's getting paid, I think,
a
what,
lot.
well over $100 million here in all total compensation. So, not a bad deal. First year should reward his balance sheet handsomely. I would do that job for about a year and see what I could do for Starbucks there.
Yeah, yeah, for 100 million, I'm pretty sure you would do it for a year just to see what's going down. All right, everyone. So those are our five stories here. What the heck's going on with the economy? Tech layoffs. We had Mars buying Kellanova. We had Paramount just can't stay out of the news for a while. We just can't stop hearing about Paramount. Then lastly, Starbucks has a new CEO to right the ship. Let us know what you think about these stories. And if you are digging our new equipment and these Monday podcast style episodes.
Let us know, guys. Again, like the video, subscribe to this channel. Bert, you're either with us or you're against us. Jack, that was Bert, the Hitman, and Lanny from the DD over and out.